more than $4 million. This is the average cost of cloud misconfigurations. So if you run your Terraform, use TFSec, because when you run it for the first time, probably you will see this. And what you want to see is this. How to do it? We will go through it in this video, so stay tuned. We will install TFSec, we will talk a little bit about TFSec, and then we'll create small Terraform example, and then fix it. And we will see how easy it is, how small portion really of the code you need to introduce the vulnerability in your infrastructure. So what we will do now, I will use my terminal on MacBook. I will use Docker container, and in this Docker container we will install TFSec, and we will create very small portion of Terraform code, which we try to fix later, and you will see how easy it is to introduce vulnerabilities into your code. It is like really 2 lines of code. So stay tuned, and you can repeat those steps with me. There is a repository. The link to this repository is in the description. I will put every command I'm using, so you don't need to stop the video, rewrite everything. Everything is in this repo. Go to the description of the video below, and there will be this repository with the code. You can find the code for this specific episode, well, under the link with the title of the episode in the repository. So let's get started. First, let's start Docker container. I already have this image pulled, so I don't need to do it again. Alright, so here I am in the container. So let's install what we need, and we need 2 things here really. So apt update, because this is Ubuntu, and now I can install my stuff, which will be wget, and vim, because I want to be able to edit my code. Of course I can do it with vi, but I am so modern that I'm using vim. So I speed up a little bit, and now what we can do is we can install TFSec. So TFSec is the application, is the tool created right now, or created some time ago and acquired a few years back by Aqua. So right now this is the Aqua product, and currently Aqua is integrating TFSec with 3v. So right now we have 3v and TFSec. How long TFSec will be here? Will it be like closed? I don't know. We'll see. But right now we have TFSec. That's why we can see how TFSec works. So what we will do is, where I am here in the root directory, or the main directory of my container. So let's be nice and go to tmp, and now we can download our TFSec binary from the Aqua releases. Okay, this is done. So for having this a little bit nicer, let's move this TFSec Linux AMD 64 to TFSec. It will be easier later to use it, and right now, as we have it in tmp, we don't need this in tmp, so let's install it. First we need to do something else, so let's make this executable. It will be helpful. And now we can install it into TFSec. We can install it into USR bin, because why not? And let's remove TFSec from here. We don't need it anymore. So this is clear. A TFSec command should be here with us. So let's try to test what the version of it is. So we have this version 1.28.10. This is, let's say, the latest version today. So what we will do now is, as we have our TFSec installed, we can create our example for Terraform and run TFSec against it. So let me just create some, some example code. And here we will have a main TF file. And in this TF file, we will have this very complicated example. So what we will do here, of course, one explanation. I will not create any provider. I will not do Terraform init, anything like that. I don't need this at all. Okay, TFSec doesn't need it to operate and to check Terraform code, because it is done a little bit differently. It doesn't need Terraform to run the scan. Okay, what we need for this example is just this resource, nothing else. So in this case, we have resource, type of the resource AWS underscore S3 underscore bucket. It means that I want to create the resource, the S3 bucket, right, on AWS, obviously. I have my name, my TF test bucket, doesn't matter, and I have two tags. What is the name of the bucket and what is the environment of this bucket? I can have more tags, of course, I can have less tags, I can have no tags at all. I don't need this name, and that's it. And one more thing, we have the example here. This is the logical name for this Terraform resource. So this is how the Terraform understands where and what this resource is. And if I actually try to refer to this resource, I'm using this example as a ID. Okay, so I have my code. I can write it down, and yes, I can quit Vim very easily. Now I have my code here. Let's list it again. Yes, we have it. And what we need to do is this very complicated command to run our TFSec. What is this command? TFSec dot. Okay, dot means scan everything what is in current directory. Let's run it. And what we have? We have one test passed and 9 potential problems. Okay, and what we see the timings, so some measurements for the execution, how long it took, how much of disk it used, and so on, how many modules were downloaded, processed, how many blocks were processed, and how many files was read, right? And in the results we have that one resource passed, none of the resources were ignored, there is no critical problems, there is 6 high problems, 2 medium problems, and 1 low. But this is not enough, right? This gives us some information, but we don't know where are the problems. So that's why we need to scroll up a little bit. And here we have everything. So this is where I started my command, right? And here we have also the information that TFSec is joining the tree family. And as I said, TFSec will continue to remain available for the time being. It may be tomorrow, or it may be in 10 years. Who knows? Okay? Anyway, here you can read more about this. And now we have our problems, our issues listed here. And we need to fix those issues, okay? So what we have here, we have the information about the severity, about the title of the issue, high-level description of the issue, in which file we can find this problem, in which lines. This is the block, this is the resource block, right? Then we have this resource block here listed. We have the ID of the issue. We have the impact, so what can happen because of that, how we should fix this, and here we have 2 links where we can read more about that. The link which is interesting for us is this first one, because here in aquasecurity.github.io blah 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 blah, we can find example of the solution. And honestly, for this exercise here, what I've done is generally I used these solutions, these links here and here and here and here to fix this. Okay, of course you can say that we can say this is the easiest way. Probably it will not happen in real life, but it gives you the glimpse of how it really works. So I will not go here to the web pages one by one, but what I will do, I will fix the issues anyway. So first of all, I'm gonna go to open my Terraform, and one of the first issues which we had was related to no public access block, right? So let me go to this web page somewhere on the side. I will just copy the solution from there. Let me show you. Why not? I'm a nice guy. All right, so this is our issue, right? And this is the link from here. What is the severity? What is the explanation? What is the impact? The insecure example. So this is where we can have our problems and how we should fix it. And here the good example says that I need this block here as well. So let's copy the whole block right now. Let's put this whole block under this one. I will just change the ID here to have the example as I have example here, right? So I need to have AWS S3 bucket. Yes, example ID to like refer to this one, and let it be good example, doesn't care. And now let's try to run our TFSec, and we have less problems. And by this, we fixed already 2 problems, right? So now we have the problem. The second problem is with bucket does not have encryption. Okay, let's add encryption right now. And in order to add this encryption, I need the specific section in my resource for S3 bucket, right? So here I have the server-side encryption block added. Let's save it. And again, we removed another 2 errors. Nice. So what we have next? Next we have public access block does not block public policies. And to add to this, public access block does not ignore public ACLs, and public access block does not restrict public buckets. And this is what is important now. So let's clear this up. I put these 4 in one shot because what I need to do really is to add more lines, more information in this one, in this section, in this resource, right? So I had previously block public ACL. Now I added ignore public ACLs, block public ACLs, and restrict public buckets. So let's see. Of course, block public ACL I already have. I need to add another one, block public policy, my bad. All right, so let's do it. All right, let's run it again. Now we have 2 errors. The first one is bucket does not have logging enabled. So, well, let's fix it. Let's fix it because we can do it. So for logging, I need to add another block in my S3 resource code. So logging and target bucket is our bucket where I will save the logs from any action done for this bucket which I'm creating. So any action in my bucket called my TF test bucket, this one, will be logged into the target bucket. And of course, right now I don't have this bucket, doesn't matter. This is just the scan of the code. Let's see what will happen. Yay! The last one, the bucket doesn't have versioning enabled. And you know what? I don't need versioning in this bucket. I understand that it may be an issue, but I don't want to have versioning enabled. And what? I'm doomed? Because I will have this every time? Now, TFSec allows us to skip some specific checks for specific blocks. So, for example, if I have the code for 10 buckets and I don't want to have versioning on one of them, I can skip this specific scan for this specific resource, and let's see how to do it. So we go to our code, and on top of our resource, in the line just before, we need to provide some skipping rule, and this rule looks like this: TFSec. All right, starting with hash. Ignore, of course, we need to ignore, and here we need to provide the ID of the check we want to skip. In our case, it was AWS S3 enable versioning. And let's see how it looks now. We're done. We make sure that our bucket now is secured. And as you can see, we have much more things that we have before, because we have 2 blocks. Previously we had 1. We have still 1 file. We have more resources really, because from 1 we added to the 1 we had at the beginning, we added 1 new. 9 scans are passed. 1 is ignored. Okay, and we don't have any problems. So this is how you can start with TFSec. It's that easy. And in the next videos, I will show you how to make things even more fun. All right, so we will write our custom policy to check, custom rule to check, and we will do a few more things with TFSec. So observe my channel, subscribe, like, comment. If you are using TFSec, comment in my comment sections. If you are using any other tool for scanning your infrastructure as code, comment. I'd be happy to hear and see what are you using. And as I said, like, subscribe, hit the button bell, and see you in next episode. See you.